Good evening, it's Sunday night, and as you probably can see from behind, I've put some lights up. I keep it simple, there's probably not much else other than the lights. So, 5th of December, and tonight I'm thinking about two stories that I have written over this past week. One is about home, and the other is a reflection on home. I was home in Northern Ireland. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not home here in St Albans district. It's a village outside St Albans. But I guess you can have a couple of places like home, and maybe that's what the articles will say. So let's just go to that. Maybe a little break between the two. So the title is What Makes You Feel at Home? What is home? We talk a lot about being at home, feeling at home, going home. Of what are we speaking? It is that feeling that we need not be anyone other than who we are. We are accepted. We are at our best without thinking about it. If you live in another place, a distance from where you grew up, going home speaks of a familiarity with a place, a people, and a way of being. I am in Portadown. I was in Portadown when I wrote this. I'm not now. I'm in Portadown, County Armagh, Northern Ireland, as I write. This is a place I grew up, and its people influenced me more than any other. There is a way of being that I'm not sure I would ever understand if I hadn't grown up here. This also means I will not fully understand St Albans district, even though I've lived in and around it for 28 years. Then there are the homes of family members, especially the family home, the place that you most occupied. An emotional memory hits you at every turn. That photo, that piece of furniture. I often speak of being like a ghost returning when I'm jolted by such memories. I can walk from home to town and see ghosts of myself at almost every age. One I see most often is myself, age 5, driving a go-kart around what was then a new estate. A child needs to be nourished to strive. That includes the ability to make themselves at home and make a home for themselves. We often see these as externals, the buildings, the furniture. What manifests on the outside begins inside. It's how we greet people, about what groups we seek out to join. This all flows from who we are as people. The tools we use in one place are likely to be the tools we use in another. In the first letter to the Corinthians, it states that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, if you believe it, which reminds us that our bodies are a home perhaps not only for the Holy Spirit, but also our spirit. Jesus said as he left his disciples that he went to prepare a place for them. For in my Father's house there are many mansions. Perhaps as we prepare ourselves here to be at home, it's also preparing us for the place of residence for our spirits after this body ceases. How we live here is how we may live there. So that's the first story. And the second one should come up in a minute, hopefully. I'm probably going to think I should have done 2 separate videos for this, but I will continue as I started. So this one's called, so I wrote this on Friday night, which was 5 days after I got back. So it's called while respecting others, respect yourself. For most of this week, your heart and mind have still been in Northern Ireland. You should not be surprised as you seem to be, as the place and people are the foundations on which you were built. As you sat with folks, you felt for them. You felt for the health of some, and you were unexpectedly gladdened that others were doing better than you thought. The odd prompt to connect with one proved right, yet you wondered about another where the connection didn't happen, at least not as you expected. Those with who you were able to meet still knew, those with who you were unable to meet still knew that you were thinking of them. I know you like the chance encounters, which happened at least twice. They confirmed to you that home may have changed, but not so much so that you still recognize another in the street as they also you. I know that speaks to you about belonging and community. While you don't find it so easy to build friendship these days, you're also smiling that you can still connect with those you knew 30 odd and 40 odd years ago. And yet, it is sitting with those who knew you well spiritually that you find yourself slightly at odds, though no less affection for. The journey has taken you to different places and experiences. For you, it has been about being open to me, and I know, as do you, that you have not always found it easy to walk in the direction that you sensed I was ushering you. I know you have gone against your own feelings and judgments. But then, when you trust another, knowing that they know what is best, you yield. You yield because you know the plans I have for you, even if you don't. You know from experience that you become everything you're destined to be because your faith is in me and not in yourself. That has meant you've left a well-worn past because I desired it. A relationship is as unique as the people in it. So why should people think it's strange when one person's experience does not follow another? You know, if you had not outgrown your own prejudices, you would be an older version of your 15-year-old self. I desire to show you life and the abundance of it. That has meant moving on from what you knew yesterday to what you experience today. Only you can walk the path. Only you can experience a relationship. So whilst respecting others, respect yourself. And there we'll end it. If you have any thoughts